Hello out there, and in front of you right now is my daily carry today. It is the Benchmade Colgera. I've got my Benchmade mug. Can't have one without the other, to be honest. If you're gonna have the mug, you better carry the knife. Today's video, though, is going to be something a little bit different. We're going to be handheld. We're going to be taking a look at the computer screen and some of the new knives that have been announced from CRKT, Kershaw, and Benchmade. I also have Bo-Katan over here. Probably the coolest Funko Pop that I have ever gotten. So if you're a Star Wars fan, you like the Clone Wars, you like the Mandalorian, that is her. She's a badass, and yeah, that's about a I don't know, just a really neat one. Anyway, so I've never done a video like this before, guys. I've seen people do it, and it's just something that I don't know. It hasn't really appealed to me to just show you a computer screen for 15 minutes and talk about what I think is going to suck and what I think is going to be great. But this year, stuff's different. It's not really been the best year as far as rollouts for January rollouts. I have a lot lower excitement level than I think I ever have, and so maybe I've changed, maybe things have changed. But today, I'm just going to bring you through the CRKTs, Kershaws, and Benchmades, talk about what I'm actually excited about and stuff that I just really don't care about. And there's just a lot of that. So let's get into it. We'll start with CRKT, who I think of all the companies actually had, for me, the most exciting rollout. So yeah, excuse if this is a little bit bouncy. I'm going to be, scrolling around on the laptop here. So the first thing that you see here is the Bonafide, and this is from Ken Onion. It's a really nice design. Unfortunately, it's field strip, and I know it's an updated field strip, but that does not really do anything for me. I don't know. I just don't have a lot of confidence that the field strip knife is going to feel like a good quality tool. I haven't felt that way about any of the field strip knives I've handled. I've been disappointed as a whole. Very cool and innovative concept, but not something that just a typical EDC kind of knife guy like myself needs. This is a really cool looking thing, though. Sold out, I guess, $250, though it just wasn't in the price range of what I was looking for, and neither are these Bonafide. So I don't know if they ever did a non-field strip version, maybe I'd be interested in that, but who knows, we'll see. Next, we have the CEOs, and I'm all for the extension of the CEO line. I think it's super cool. I like that they're doing different things. Let's take a look. We'll just get in on the bamboo one. The bamboo one is actually like a plastic scale. Oh, there I am. Hello. The bamboo one is actually a plastic scale with like a bamboo kind of look to it. So it isn't actually bamboo, but still, it's a really neat design. I think that CRKT is doing a good thing by doing more with it. The one innovation, the big thing that they've done this year as we get back to the screen we were on, is they have created a flipper version. So yeah, I mean, that might be interesting. I think that'll really help with the lines of the knife and just opening and just it being a little bit more sleek. So yeah, it's a smart thing to do. Not something to do cartwheels over, but yeah, smart thing to do. We have an extension of the minimalist line, which seems to happen every year. Nothing really to talk about there. The LCK, guys, I get so much shit about the LCK from people in the community still. People watch my video and they'll say that I'm the only human being on the planet who didn't like it. I didn't really like it. I thought it was disappointing for just how much of a home run the design was. Maybe I just didn't get a good one. I don't know. I came back to it at one point and I thought, all right, it's not that bad, but it really could have been a like an out of the park kind of home run, and it just wasn't on the level of some of the other stuff that I've had from CRKT, even though it is really inexpensive. Now we have a large version. There's also an assisted version that's coming out. So yeah, not really a high excitement level there, but something that I'll be open to checking out. Here is an excitement level, the Pilar 3. So for me, the large Pilar was sort of a dud. So, it just didn't do all that much for me. It was larger, but I don't know. It just seemed to... I gave it a good review, and it was a fine knife, but it still had some of the long-term lockup issues as the first one, and it, I don't know, it just wasn't anything that was all that special to me. So, hold on, let's get on that. Let's see if we can blow that up a little bit. I think the lines of this one are a little bit better, a little bit more preferable. Let's see if we can... Yeah, really just not the best picture, so sorry guys. But yeah, I think this is the best looking one of the three that we've had. So this one is one that I'm definitely going to get my hands on, definitely going to review. The thing I like about this, if you're not already aware, is that there's two different versions that are coming out. There's the one in D2, and these prices, guys, these are the CRKT website prices, so this is not what they're actually selling for. I believe the Polar 3, the cheaper version up here, which is an 8CR and has a satin blade or a stonewash blade. I'm not sure. The blades are different finished as well, but this one's actually like $39.99 on like Blade HQ and those websites, and this one is more like $59.99. So not a terrible price. So we have that, and there's that large Polar, and here's a good, you can just say, look at that, look at the difference. So the handle is pretty much the same, but the blade shape is just a lot more, I think, sleek and refined on the Polar 3. So yeah, stoked about that. Provoke does nothing for me. I understand the innovation, people excited about that, cool for tactical and people who like karambits, that sort of thing, nice mechanism, yada yada yada, does nothing for me. So Septimo, also nothing for me. The squid assisted, I don't know, guys. I don't see the point. Squid flipper, also don't see the point. Again, good to have the option, but nothing that like should be all that noteworthy, and it shouldn't be like a marquee part of a rollout. So, all right. So we have that. And we're taking a while to get through CRKT, but CRKT probably has the most out of everything. All right, so these last two rows are actually pretty interesting. So we have the Razel GT fixed blade, whatever. The Scribe is a TJ Schwartz fixed blade, which is just a really mini kind of like gents carry kind of thing. It has a little hook at the end there so that you can like put either a lanyard on it or clip it to something. It does have a pocket clip on the reverse side. Let's see if we can boop that. There we go. Has a pocket clip. And yeah, I mean, I think that that's just going to be a real simple tool that some people might want to get their hands on. The price point, I believe, is like $17.99, something like that. So yeah, so that's pretty good. The Trask, now the two that I'm most interested in here, all right, and we're going to just look at them at the same time. The Trask and the PSD. The Trask has the deadbolt locking mechanism. This one is actually selling at $99.99 is what I saw the pre-orders at. It's fantastic looking. Really, really great looking. The cheapest, I think, deadbolt knife that they've come out with, which is awesome. 1.411 something steel, I think is what it is. The problem is it's like a plastic handle. And guys, you know, I don't care. Plastic handles aren't terrible. But I don't know, man. You look at the knife and you feel like you're getting something, and then plastic handles, it's tough. So I haven't done a pre-order for that. This one, the PSD, the particle separation device, is coming in at like 70 bucks. Good looking design, assisted opening. I'm not sure, but then we have these two, the Cody Day and the Cinco. I don't know. I think the Coda Day is a field strip. The Cinco is Richard Rogers, sort of the sequel to the Quattro, if you guys remember that knife. They're both fine looking. I think I'll probably get my hands on the Quattro before I get my hands on the other one. But again, no pre-orders for either of those. No pre-orders from me for anything really except for one knife. So, and we're about to get to that. Let's see. So we've added the last ones. Okay. Dude, CRKT has so much. So the first 10 minutes of this video are going to be CRKT. Sorry. Innovative. Not something I need. Compano. The Foresight Assisted is pretty neat, though. So this one's coming in. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, I think, than the original. The original was on IKBS, Ken Onion design, aluminum handle frame. I had one of those knives, thought it was super cool. Wasn't the best in hand, but it's great to see them coming back to a knife. And then they have, a few other, let me quit going the wrong direction. Just a few other things that all sort of, I don't know. Richard Rogers dually. Here's a Symmetry, another Richard Rogers. So, very, very identifiable Richard Rogers design. I think that one's actually pretty good looking. I'm trying to, this is the slip joint. So the Symmetry is non-locking. All right. One I'm excited about, and hopefully I'll get my hands on this. This is the Nerktie Green. And this is them bringing back the old Nerktie that was a hit for them and won a bunch of awards a few years ago. It's a combination between Brian Ty and, God, who does the that locking mechanism. Oh God, brain fart. But yeah, it was is it the NERC lock? I can't remember who designed it though. Yeah, that special locking mechanism with a brine tie design, and it's pretty cool, just the look of it, and it actuated really nicely, the old one. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. Let's zoom down. The Ritual, I think, is an absolute joke. Yeah, it's a fun little show-off knife, but who's going to EDC that? The Lanny's interesting, you know, that we're getting a Liang Ma, a pretty nice looking Liang Ma. I'm not sure if I like the decisions they made with some of the embellishments, but yeah. Then we have the Tweed 2 by Vox. Of all the Vox designs this year, this is the one that I might be most interested in. Assisted opening, though. And yeah, there is new assisted opening. If you're seeing stuff about that, it really isn't much different from anything else that they've done. It isn't that different of an assisted opening mechanism. I can actually show you in just a second. So we have a couple other things, and then the Heron from Lucas Burnley is the only thing that I've pre-ordered. That's the first thing that I saw. I said, that's pretty sick looking. It looks different from a lot of the other things I have in my collection. We're going to get that. So that knife is coming. Definitely will do a video when it comes to the channel. All right. So real quickly, we're going to come back over here. This is a snap-on CRKT. And I might talk about this in a different video coming up soon. But this snap-on CRKT has assisted opening. It's a Ripple, the first Ripple that has assisted opening. And CRKT was talking about how they have this new assisted mechanism on some of these new models up here. Well, I was playing around with this snap-on, and I realized it's a little bit different than other assisted opening knives. And so I sent CRKT a message on Instagram. I commented and said, is this the same technology as what you're rolling out in 2021? And they replied and said yes. And all it is that the torsion bar is curved in a way that the way it behaves is when you close it, it sort of creates a detent. So you don't have to push the knife all the way down. It sort of takes over at about the halfway point and closes. So we're going to slide over here to a pile of knives. The Kershaw Leak right here. When you close this knife, you have to push all the way to the end. Against that torsion bar, you feel that resistance all the way to the end. With this, you close it, and when you get, you know, about halfway, 3/4 of the way, a little bit less than 3/4 of the way, it just takes over. So it has sort of this detent because that torsion bar sucks it in. So I might make a video going into further detail with that, but there we go. 13 minutes on CRKT. Holy shit. All right, let's get into Kershaw. And again, CRKT, like some of that stuff is actually really interesting to me. It's stuff that I'm probably, though, not going to get a lot of it. So a little bit less interested than years past, but more interested than the next two companies. So let's start with Kershaw. I just saw these t-shirts were like the first thing on what's new. I like them both. Eat, Sleep, Buy Knives. The Kershaw Launch 13 shirt is just a bummer. I wish it was a Launch 11 shirt, but it says automatic attraction, has a picture of the Launch 13. I think that's a cool shirt. So yeah, bummer that it's the 13 and not the 11, but let's scroll down and actually talk about some knives. All right. Nope, not even going to talk about that. All right, cool. So let's start with the Highball XL. Smart that they're doing the Highball in a larger version. What's interesting about it, and let's see if I have the Highball nearby. I think I do. Of course not. All right, so let me just babble for a minute and see if I can find it. The Highball, though, it looks like a different type of blade shape almost with this larger version. Like the belly is extended, you know what I mean? It's the same, it's a little bit less of a pointy. Oh, guys, this is just going to be one of those riffing videos. All right, found it. All right, let's get it open. All right. So you can see that the belly near the tip is a lot more evident and present on the XL. So it's a slightly different blade shape. It's definitely the same family, but I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to like that knife, but I definitely want to get my hands on it and check it out. The drivetrain, this one, no, I don't think so. a lot of these designs just look like things that they did last year. All right, here's two to really talk about, and these are the two knives that I am most excited for from Kershaw for 2021. So I think these were supposed to come out in I don't know if it was 2020 or 2019. I think it was 2019 because I handled them both at 2019 Blade Show, and they never came out. They were supposed to come out later in the year. They never did. They eventually just went away, and they've been on my list for a long time. They never came out. And Kershaw, from my understanding, I didn't hear them say anything about these. They just sort of went away and got scrapped, but they didn't get scrapped. So these are back. They're going to be coming out. Let's take a look. This is the Collateral and then the Turismo. Super pumped about these. These are coming out in D2 now, which is pretty fun. They've been assisted the whole way, so that's good. Yeah, we'll see. Speed safe KVT ball bearings. So that's sort of the thing that's interesting, is that CRKT is doing this as well as Kershaw, where they're doing the assisted opening, but they're doing it on bearing so that it just has this super smooth, snappy action. So some of that stuff, you know, even though some of the designs aren't that interesting to me, some of the innovations are going to be worth coming like back for and at least getting in hand. So yeah, so this one, definitely the Collateral, and then the Turismo, which is sort of a smaller version with a similar design. I think it's the same designer. So yeah, definitely going to be checking both of those out. The bracket is a cleaver assisted, not really interested. Taskmaster saw, cool for the people who need it. Platform endgame, I don't know. What? This thing? It reminds me of a knife they just came out with last year, the NORAD, you know, and so I'm looking for something a little bit different. You know, if I have the NORAD in my collection, I don't know why I'm spending money on this, and that's sort of the mindset there. So, same D2. It actually has some pretty cool design implements. I think it looks good, but as far as me spending my money on it, not really necessary. The Platform is one of the cheaper ones. Let's take a look at that real quick, too, and see. Yeah, I don't know. So, nail clipper and, yeah, it's a slip joint and has a nail clipper in it. I don't understand. Let's see. Okay, yep. So that's gimmicky, but I don't know. Some of the stuff I feel like they do to appeal to people who aren't really knife people. I don't know. I don't need a nail clipper in my knife, so there's that. So here are a couple that are going to be very popular and draw more people to Kershaw. In the same way that like the Lucha did last year and some of the other things that Kershaw has done, they're going outside the box. They have the Strata XL, which is super big, and then they have another Strata down here. Let's just take a look at this one, because even this one, being the smaller version, is too big for what I want in a knife. But it's a manual knife, D2, 4.5 inch blade. So I think the XL one is 5 or 5.5 inches. Really cool design. Yeah, I'm into it. It actually, like here. Speaking of really cool designs, well, no, it's not that similar, but it does have a look to it that, I don't know, it has a very Kershaw look to the blade shape, that's for sure. I think it'll be a big hit. I would like to get one on the channel to check out, but I mean, that's never a knife that I would EDC. Analyst, basic Tanto, speed safe, Cannonball. I'm not sure what this one is. Let's take a look at this real quick. This is going to be a 30-minute video. Holy crap. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I mean, it sure looks like a knockout blade shape to me. D2 blade, 3.5 inch drop point. So, yeah. Going a lot of D2 here. Speed safe assisted. Good for larger hands. Great. I don't know. I mean, not something for me, most likely. All right. Let's keep going. The Tremolo is one that I believe, yeah, so this is like the next starter series knife to follow up on the airlock. So I have no need for this knife, but I think that it's probably going to be a good one. 4CR14, so super budget friendly. What's our length here? Do we have that anywhere? I don't think we have that anywhere here, but yeah, I think that it's sort of the same type of size as the airlock was too, so really nothing all that different. So what you can gather just from everything I'm saying here, yeah, and now we've gotten back to almost to the end. So the Terran is, you know, another budget blade, which, I don't know, might be interesting, but maybe not. The Capsule is one that I definitely want. So this is super cool. It's not really the most like EDC, it's not unfriendly, but it's not like the most, I don't know, sensical kind of tool, but it's neat in that it's an OTA, like a manual sliding mechanism. Yenzanzo design, pretty cool. 8CR13, it's good looking. It's gonna be fun, you know. It's gonna be one of those knives that you get and it looks cool. It's a conversation piece, and then when it comes down to it, it'll cut just about everything you need to cut. So that's sort of the way that I look at that. All right, guys, that's everything for Kershaw. Let's jump into Benchmade, and if I'm a nice guy, I'll have annotated all this shit about where you should be, where you should be watching if you want specific companies. Now we have the Benchmade stuff. There's 30 items here, and all right. The only thing that I hope, and this could be the case with any of these companies, is that they announce a bunch of stuff at the beginning of the year, and then some other stuff comes out later in the year that like changes things, and that tends to happen. But I'm just underwhelmed across the board here. The Auto Fact, cool, makes sense that they're doing that. I get it. Meat Crafter, that's a little bit more budget friendly with budget materials. Cool, get it. Makes sense that they're doing that. 945 Mini Osborne looks just like the regular 940, aluminum handles, that sort of thing. Cool, get it that they're doing that. Again, no need or interest in any of these though. Now we have the Bug Outs. Bug Out 535 aluminum handle frame. I believe this one is M390. Cool, I get it that they're doing that. Don't need it, you know. 535-3, that's carbon fiber with S90V. Cool, I get it. Don't need it. You know what I mean? I understand what we're doing here, but none of this stuff is particularly appealing to me. Like, it makes sense that we're doing these like other variations in materials that aren't available on the custom shop or in ways that aren't quite available on the custom shop yet, but doesn't really matter to me. The Mini Bug Out, again, doesn't really matter to me. The Tengu Flipper. So here's what I'll say about the gold class stuff. This one looks particularly cool, even though I'm not a Damascus guy. We saw that. We'll just scroll up to the top for the big picture. I mean, that's pretty cool looking, right? And the Tengu is one that I had some appreciation for, even though I didn't get it. You know, I haven't handled it. I had some appreciation for like a different kind of design from Benchmade, and every year or two they usually, you know, they'll release something like that that's really different from the rest of their line, and I like that. The cool thing about this though is that it's $550 and not like $800 or $900 like some of the gold class stuff. So some people who really like this might be able to get to it who wouldn't have been able to previously. The Claymore, all right, this is the, which one are we going to take a look at? I think they're the same. All right, so the Claymore is one of the only like really brand new designs that's been announced from them. So this one looks like, is this one the auto? This is in D2, powdered D2, which is cool. Grivery handle. Serrated blade. Yeah, push button auto right there. It's a good looking design. I like the curvature. I like how it pushes up and like has that bulge on each side, sort of scaly, sort of in a way. Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be a really good looking knife. Let me see if this other one though is not. No, I think they're both automatics. Well, oh well. We have the Auto Presidio 2. Makes sense. 'Couple OTFs. couple more OTFs, and then we have more variations of previous products. So the Adamas, the mini Adamas is a big one for them. It seems like a long time coming because this has been a staple design of theirs for forever, since long before I even got into knives. This knife has been around. Shane Seibert design, beautiful blade, good lines. The Adamas had a fixed blade and a fixed blade, or a fixed blade and a folder version. This one, 3.25 inch blade length. So this is going to be a stout, small little user. I think it's a good thing that they're doing it. It makes sense, especially if someone, looks at the smaller knives that they have, like the bug out and like the mini bug out, which is way smaller than this. But a lot of the blades that they have in the 3-inch range, even like the mini grip, they're durable and all, but they're not quite like these beefy little tanks. And the ones that they have that small, that are beefy little tanks, are like really small, like that mini pocket rocket was, stuff like that. So having the Adamas in that size, for me at least, makes a lot of sense. So we have a bunch of different variations of that. And then we're back to the mini Osborne and stuff that's sort of already out. So that's it. So for me, Benchmade, I don't know. Benchmade really not that impressive and not exciting at all with what they've released this year. So that's really it, guys. Overall, wanted to share that with you, share my take. I don't know, maybe this is just a sign that it's an opportunity for me to branch out and try a whole bunch of different brands this year that are doing different things and not be as focused on Kershaw and CRKT. After last year, though, man, especially with Kershaw, I was like super pumped for what they might do this year, and it just, a couple things that are interesting that caught my eye, but I don't see myself spending a lot of money on on a bunch of these new releases, especially not right off the bat, and last year when Kershaw's came out and CRKTs, I got like 4 or 5 of each, like right off the bat, because I had to have them, and there are only a couple of those kinds of knives this year. So that's it. Thanks. If you watched this long, awesome. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Any questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, let me know about that as well. Take care. Let me know what you are interested in this year from these 3 companies, what else is coming out, or what else I should check out if I'm not going to be spending much time with these guys. All right. Take care, guys. Have a good one.